Hello everybody, I'm the Basement Reviewer, here to review some stuff. Today specifically, we're going after a Nickelodeon comedy. Now, let's talk a little bit into that Nickelodeon. This is a studio that's fallen heavily from grace. It used to be one of the top contenders of kids' networks, competing with Cartoon Network and pretty much beating Disney even. I mean, Disney had some good shows, don't get me wrong, but they didn't have really much of it. But Nickelodeon has fallen quite from grace, and resorting to many sitcoms is their biggest flaw, along with the overrunning of certain shows that will remain nameless. And, quite frankly, most people find it easy to pick on Nickelodeon. Like, say, their network that kind of sucks now. But I'm still here rooting for them, honestly. Whatever Nickelodeon does, I wish them the best. But alas, Henry Danger is the show I'm reviewing today, and it is not the best. Let's take a look at the episode of Henry Danger. Gas or Fail. I'm sorry, that title is just terrible. The biggest problem with this episode in particular is the fact that it has very bad comedy. Now don't get me wrong, comedy is completely subjective, but there's one thing about this episode that doesn't really understand how comedy usually works, particularly the laugh track. And from what I've seen, this is a large problem throughout the entire series. It'll tell a joke, or a joke, that's maybe funny, but not really. And the point of the laugh track is to make certain things seem funnier. And when you're just repeating the same laugh track over and over again, all that it does is make it more annoying. Repeating a joke does not make it funny. That's one of the fundamental elements of comedy, and Henry Danger is completely missing it. But, I mean, it's still subjective, and I guess maybe someone out there likes it. Maybe you like it, and
Swellview's in trouble. An underground gas pipe has burst.
The basic plot of this episode is revolving around Henry Danger being in school while Captain Man, yes, that's his name. Probably should mention, the show in general is very lacking in creativity, and Captain Man is just the peak of that. But anyway, it revolves around them and a gas leak. And Henry Danger is trapped at school with a funny teacher. You have to see some of these jokes, believe, and I guess I'll let you see one of them, but trust me, these are just cringeworthy jokes. Very bad.
I heard a smartphone.
Sorry, that was just my, my pacemaker.
Pacemaker?
And, well, the jokes, while they completely miss, they're not offensive, so, I mean, they've at least got that. There's nothing in this episode that gets me really angry, per se, or disgusted. It's a very inoffensive episode, as it's a very inoffensive show. But the plot itself could lead to some interesting situations, and, heck, a lot of comedy. But, that's not what they were going for with this series, so that's not what you get. The episode begins by explaining the situation. Henry is at school doing a test that is state required, whereas Captain Man, or Ray, is fixing the gas leak. And the thing about this gas leak is it's apparently bad enough that they need to evacuate the city. This is because the brilliant creators of the geniusly named Swellview put a radiation plant, pretty much, right on top of where a gas thing is. Because that's smart architecture, and that's smart building. But Henry Danger himself, he's at school and needs to take the test. When the state calls the evacuation, his teacher, for comedy reasons, keeps them in there to presumably die and only buys a gas mask for the intelligent one. is this just what, like, normal teachers do? Is this a normal thing for other Americans? I mean, I still go to high school, and I've never had a teacher that bad. I mean, I have to go check this. Is that the thing? Alright, so I guess there are some teachers in real life that aren't that bad. That are that bad, I mean. Well. Anyway, in order to escape during the test, he calls out to go to the restroom, where Schwoz breaks through the wall. Now, if you don't know, Schwoz is kind of like their gadget expert. And he basically copies him when in a position where he looks like he's taking the test, sitting on the toilet, of course, for comedy. After, of course, he puts the toilet paper on the seat, just to make sure he's sanitary. I mean, do you know how many germs are on toilet seats? You gotta make sure that your pants don't get those germs. And it plays a laugh track, so do not worry. The laugh track remains. Basically, then Schwoz uses hologram to make it look as though Henry's taking the test when he's really gone. And there's jokes between here. You can go see the full episode if you want to. I'm not going to show too many clips right now because I'm just getting started and I don't want to get taken down by Viacom. The episode inevitably goes through the very predictable route of Henry does manage to get down there, they get saved, everything is happy. Now, I blew through that part, and trust me, there's not much you missed. And now here's the thing. I was able to blow through that because the plot is so dull and predictable that I can. There's not much you miss, aside from a couple misplaced laugh tracks that don't belong. This show is not the worst thing ever. It is very inoffensive. There's nothing to get mad about, really. Which is kind of why I chose it as my first episode. I mean, there are things that could work in a different show. In fact, there's things that work in this show, I think. Because after all, I know a couple people who do like this show. I personally find it boring and just not funny at all. I find it very dull. And that's its big fault. It's too inoffensive, if you will. It doesn't like to take risks. And sometimes too much risk is a bad thing. I mean, we got episodes of SpongeBob that took far too many risks and just went far out. And I will be getting to those eventually, but not next time because I don't want to tackle two Nick shows right now. But Henry Danger as a whole, I'm not going to be reviewing any more episodes after this for the primary reason of this episode sums up the whole show, in all honesty. I picked this one because it was the most recent one I saw. The entire show is pretty much like this. It's dull and inoffensive. And that made it really easy to review. Now, maybe I should have picked a harder one. Maybe I pulled in more ratings for my first episode, but I'm going to worry about what's right for me. I don't have a big fan base. I know that. Probably never going to get one, but hey, I'll work if I can. Real quick, a little bit of info about this review, which is, I'm done talking about Henry Danger. Next review, I have not decided fully what it's going to be, but I do have a couple of ideas. So, I'll send out a preview of that or something when I get my finalized plan done. Sorry about the terrible quality. I am in a room with, like, one light, and I don't have a camera. I'm using my iPad. I know some of you say if you don't have the right equipment, don't record on YouTube. But the thing about YouTube is it's a free site where anyone can upload. And that's kind of what makes this a special site, is you don't need the fancy equipment. I mean, certainly you're more likely to succeed if you do, but you don't need. If you have your passion, and I think I do, you can continue. So, I don't have a set pattern for these, but see you next week, and I will eventually upload it. Also, these could either be positive or negative reviews. I have not fully decided whether I'm just going to do one. I will probably do both sides. Particularly because there's several shows that I want to do a positive review on, like Steven Universe, Star Wars Evil, Gravity Falls, stuff like that. And some shows that maybe you haven't heard about. So, well, I'm running low on time for this video, so I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!